Now we go to the bonus family. What was considered bonus is something that is usually not implemented in rating system, or it's a bit complicated to do. The first one is life cycle assessment. We have to ask for a full life cycle of the building, and we have to consider all these building stages, from construction material, transportation to site, installation, maintenance and operation of the building, energy use and water use. I think this is covered within the life cycle assessment. The water footprint, it can be covered within the building life cycle assessment. And finally, the deconstruction. When we talk about life cycle assessment, we have multiple strategies to go with this. Either we talk about cradle to grave. So this is cradle to grave, from construction to deconstruction. And we can talk about cradle to cradle, which is more related into circular economy, where everything we waste, all the waste we generate, we can use it back into the construction process. Okay? So we have to, for each phase of the building, we have to specify if it's included in the LCA or not. And the score is generated based on the number of stages that have been included. For example, here we have in total 7. If we put only 1 and we fill all the data required here, so the score generated is 14%, which is 1/7. Okay? And whenever we add another building stage, the score will be added 1/7. Okay? Let's talk about these indicators or KPIs that we use for life cycle assessment. The first one is global warming, which is, I think you all know it. The global warming is related directly to the CO2 equivalent. The second one is acidification, which is related to SO2 or acid rain. So acid rain, you know, it affects everything from the sea, land, our health. Next one is eutrophication. This is mainly caused by when we discharge a big amount of nutrients into the environment. And you can notice it in lakes mainly, where you see a growth of algae on the surface of the lake. This will impact the marine life within the lake and will cause a lot of problems for the humans and for the marine life. Next one is ozone depletion potential, CFC. Also, I think you all know it. It affects the ozone layer, which protects us from the UV radiation. Next one is formation of ozone of lower atmosphere. This is mainly caused by VOC emissions. When we have VOC emissions from the building, you can, and with sunlight, it can generate ozone at the lower layers, at our level. This can cause a lot of problem also for the environment, for the marine life, for everything, and for the humans as well. And finally, the waste processing. This is related to the amount of waste generated and landfilled during the process, during the construction and operation of the building. So when we input all of these, let's say all of these are yes. And we have put all the values, we can reach a score of 100%. Here we don't have a baseline to compare with, because actually there is no international baseline to compare a building to another building based on life cycle assessment. There are studies that are being done, and other rating systems, one of them is BREEAM. They also don't compare buildings, they don't have a baseline for LCAs, but at least this is an educational tool, so people would get to know what is LCA more, how we can use it, what's the results they can obtain. Okay? Any question regarding this? Okay. Next one in the bonus family is the waste audit. Waste audit is something also not very familiar or not very common within buildings. This is regarding an existing building that wants to undergo a waste audit, so they know better how to implement a waste management program and what are the types of waste that are being generated within the building. So we have to prepare first a plan. We say yes. And the steps within the plan are covered here. We have 7 main steps that should be covered, should be implemented in order to earn 100% score. If only one is covered, it's a partial score. Okay? Okay. This should be. Yes. I think there is a problem in the formula here. Okay, we'll check it later. Second one is the first is building audit team. Second one is defining the plan and objectives. Third one is scheduling the audit, putting a timeline for the audit to be performed. Second, fourth one is the tools and equipment to be used during the waste audit. After that, this is the bigger part, the biggest part, which is organizing and sorting material. Because in this, a group of volunteers will come and will volunteer to do the sorting of the waste, of the available waste, in order to know what is the biggest quantity. For example, maybe it's paper, maybe it's plastic, maybe it's metal. So this is done here. Okay. Analyzing the results. Finally, we have to analyze the results and develop an action plan, which is based on the, of course, on the results. And here we will know, for example, what type of bins or what type of material that we should dedicate bins for. Is it paper? Is it plastic? And how we should perform, where we should put these bins, what frequency we should do the collection. So, yes. All of these should be implemented in order to earn. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Does it make sense to make only one of these steps and leave the others? So yes, of course. Sorry, it's my mistake. So here we have to implement all 7 steps in order to earn 100% on this criterion. Okay. Next, final one is the innovation. I think we already addressed this yesterday. So innovation, what also Dr. Riyad mentioned, that whatever new strategies that are implemented that are not covered under this rating system can be added as innovation, and it is subject to LGBC review and approval. And the weight that is applied to this innovation criterion is also based on discussion between the reviewer and the project team. Okay?